Hi everyone, it's Zadira. We're playing Ark Survival Evolved. We're using the Survival Plus mod. We're on the Ragnarok map, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about how food and cooking is a very important part of Survival Plus. Very different than in the vanilla Ark. For one thing, you have to be very concerned about your proteins and carbs and all that. It's not complicated or anything, but it is fun to have that extra aspect of the game. I wanted to show you how to fix a simple meal. If you press H, you're going, well, let's see if we can get it to come up. If you hold down H, you can see it shows an outline of your body, and it shows your nutrition value in the red bar at the bottom. And then also on the right hand side, you can see I have a red heart. That's because I've eaten one of the simple meals. By holding down the H, it says I am well nourished. And so that tells me I have all my proteins, carbs, and everything that I need. If you just eat regular meat or just a berry by itself or whatever, you're not going to get near as nourished as if you cook everything. For one thing, just cooking it will help. Cook everything together, ingredients as a meal, and that will provide you with what you need. Let's go ahead and I'll show you how to make a simple meal. Let's go ahead and light our fire. And it shows that we have a food storage pot is in our fire. And if you look, it shows it out here on the outer edge. And we'll be cooking in our cooking pot. But it just shows it in the inventory. But you do have to have a food storage pot in your fire in order to make your meals. So what you do is you put your berries in. This is what we're making right here. It's called a simple meal, a happy mix of ingredients you can find almost anywhere. Eating meals is much more nourishing than consuming the raw ingredients. So what we need is 2 cooked meat, 5 edible berries, an egg, some salt, and a water skin. So let's go ahead. We have some eggs. Those are, I think, Pego eggs, Pego Mastix lay eggs. And here's our meat. What else do we need? Just our water skin. And as soon as I put the water skin in, it's going to cook our meal for us automatically because we have everything in there that we need. So let's go ahead and put a water skin in. There we go. Gives it a little bit of lag or something. And so it did cook. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm very confused. So there you go. It took it a little bit, but it did make our simple meal. Oh, now it's making another one. I think it must have been some lag or something. That was very odd because it didn't show that it was actually cooking or anything. So I guess as long as you have the ingredients in there, it'll just keep cooking them for you. I guess. I'm a little bit confused about that. But anyway, we do have a simple meal, and it shows the spoiler timer that those last for 7 hours. So you want to be sure and eat those. Or let's go see if we put them, what we can do is let's go ahead and cook another, or let's just use this one, I think, for now. We don't need that in the fire for now. We can cook another one while we're waiting. You have to put, once you make, we talked about this in another episode, once you make your food storage pot in a pottery wheel, you have to put them in the fire and burn them in order to use them. This one, it's already been burned, so I'm going to show you how. Let's compare. Let's see, where can we place this? Let's just place it down right here, maybe over here so we're not quite getting them mixed up. These food storage pots act as similar to what a preserving bin might as far as helping your food last longer. And what you do is you use wet clay balls that you'll learn from your Ingrams, and you'll put those in, and that kind of, I guess, refrigerates you. The clay balls are wet with water, and it's an old-timey fashioned way of keeping things cool in your clay pot. For instance, here's a dried Amar berry. It spoils in 24 and 26 seconds. And in here, look at that, how much longer it'll last if you keep your wet clay balls in your in your food storage pot. So that's really helpful. So like, all right, let's get our meals out of the campfire. So and let's see how long we can keep them from spoiling if we add them to our food storage pot with the clay balls. So in my inventory, they last 7 hours and 53 minutes. If I put them in with the clay balls, see, they last a day and 15 hours. So much better. So you want to keep them stored with your clay balls. Now eventually the clay balls will dry out, and then you'll have these little dry clay balls. So what you'll need is at least 20 clay balls. You'll put them in your inventory and you'll go stand in water, and that'll refresh them. But you have to have it, a lot of people get confused because they'll try to refresh them and they won't refresh, but you have to have at least 20 of the wet ones or the dried ones to make them turn wet again. And so that's part of the reason people have problems with that, because they can't figure out how to refresh the wet clay balls. They'll turn into dried clay balls and you refresh them. So anyway, so see, that's much better. That gives us a little bit more time to be able to use those. You probably don't want to make up too many unless you're selling them in your stalls or giving them out to teammates at a time, because they do spoil. Now one ingredient that we looked at was salt, and I wanted to show you how you're able to make salt in Survival Plus. That's the salt that I've made already. And so what you do is you take a clay storage pot like this. In your pottery wheel, you're going to see a clay storage pot and a food storage pot. So what you do is you take your clay storage pot and you put water skins or water containers in the pot. Now these water skins, hopefully they're not going to dry out too fast. We can always go refill and do some more if we need to. But in a little bit, remind me, or I'll try to remind myself. We'll look in here in a second. But that's all you need to do. You just need to put some type of water container in a clay pot, and eventually it will make salt. Another thing I wanted to talk about was this curing rack. This is something that also everyone can craft. And what you do is you take your, I already have some. I just actually put this in here. So I need some salt in here. I guess my salt has been used up. Let's take the salt out of the fire. So it must use, I don't know what the ratio is or how quickly it uses salt up, but it must use it pretty quickly, because this has already turned into, it's called cured meat. It sates your hunger and provides health while being digested. Wild carnivores will eat it but prefer raw meat, and it is rich in fat and protein. So it's better, much better than just plain cooked meat. But you need raw meat and you need salt in your curing rack, and that will give you dried meat. Now this, see, that meat really lasts long compared to, let's see, do we have any cooked meat still in our fire? Let's see here. Compared to cooked meat. Oh, well, now that you can't really tell too much because this meat's pretty old, actually. But see, it's going to spoil in 23 minutes. No, not too bad, but this is going to spoil in 12 hours. So this cured meat definitely lasts a lot longer. So that's always good. If you're going on an adventure, that's the best kind of meat to take with you, as far as if you just need something in a pinch. But see, already, just from putting that salt in there, it already made another. So that's very quick. It's very fast. So that's really, really good. Now I want to take this and compare it with, in my inventory, it looks like it's going to last 1 hour and 16 minutes. If I put it in the food pot, let's see, in our little refrigerator, let's see what that does. 6 hours, yeah. So the little food storage pot is really, really good. It works like a preserving bin as far as timing. I don't think it acts like a preserving bin where it makes the dried meat or anything, or the cured meat like it does in the preserving bin in vanilla. I think it's just the timer on it is how they compare it with working. So anyway, that definitely tells you a little bit about how the food works and how your nutrition's, and it's really important. After a while, if you don't eat properly, if you only eat snacks here and there, you will lose proteins and carbs, and all of a sudden you'll just get really drained, and you won't be able to be as active as you were. You'll get tireder easier, and you'll get this big old gigantic eyeball down in the right hand corner, and then eventually you will have to stop and sleep. When that gets to 70%, you'll have to stop and sleep in order to get rejuvenated. Now, I don't know yet how the food and nutrition value affects that. Like if you stay nutrient wise, if you stay up on all that, I'm not sure if that eyeball even shows up. I don't really know. So we'd have to look into that to find that out. I do have a few things that I wanted to share. Some of our listeners have been telling me some amazing tips. You know, we talked about, let's see, do I have one in my inventory? I don't. Yes, I do. Right here. Let's put it down in my number 4 key. It's called a stone knife. We talked in the first, let's put our fire out so we don't use up our wood. There we go. Let's go put our eggs. Let's put our eggs. And see, now we have a cooked food storage pot that will actually work in our fire. So now we have one over here to use and one over there. So let's put our eggs in our storage. We don't want them to spoil. And now we have plenty of meat and plenty of meals, plenty of food. And see, we still have our heart down in the lower right-hand corner. What I wanted to show you, let's do this real quickly, is get over here. Let's see, let's find quite a few bushes. Someone told me, we were talking about harvesting plant parts. And now that I have a parasaurs are amazing at harvesting plant parts. But when you first start out on Survival Plus, plant parts are so valuable and really hard to get a lot at once. So what you do is you use your stone knife. Let's see what we can get. So I got 16 that first whack. I got 13. Let that go away. And 14. So let's put away our stone knife and see what happens if we just get with our hands. Look at that. Wow. It's almost, I think it's more than double if you use your stone knife. Wow, that was a great hint. I tell you what, the people who subscribe to this channel are so amazing at commenting and helping out and giving good hints and tips. Another tip, while we're going back, is they were saying when you make a wooden spear, one of the early wooden spears, you're supposed to burn them in the fire. I actually remember doing that now, but I had forgotten and did not share that in the video where we were talking about all the hints and tips. So be sure and do that, because they will do more damage over time by hardening them in the fire. It's like burning a clay pot. You can also burn your spear and harden your spear. Then the hay bundle, which we talked about that too. Let's see if I can make one of these. What does it take to make a hay bundle? We need fiber and plant parts. We didn't get enough plant parts a while ago, did we? Well, we can just go do that real quickly. We can make a bunch of fiber. And there we go. There's a good way of showing you need a wooden club. So I tell you what, I'm going to get all the things I need for that, and then I'll come back and I will show you all about the hay bundle. Okay, I have all the things that we need to make the hay bale or hay bundle, but it got dark, so I didn't want to do that quite yet, but I did want to show you how pretty everything looks at night. The house that you're seeing behind me is called a longhouse. And that's the second house that you can build, still as an early adventurer. But the first house we're going to show how to build in just 1 minute. But I wanted to show you how pretty everything looked. I'll take out my torches. We're using the Echo RP Decor mod, And she has some really pretty things that you can add as decorations. And these are her candles. And I have them at the entrance. And then when you go in the house, I have them. So we do not have gamma on our... I need to take off the green light names, don't I? They're just a pain. But we do not have gamma on our server because we're trying to live more primitive life. And so you can see the candles give just enough lighting so it's not too difficult to see. And it appears it is getting daylight. But we do have Echo's beautiful decor, and I think that helps a little bit with decorating and make our homes have a kind of homey feeling. This longhouse comes with, it is just a part of the Survival Plus mod, and it is an early house that you can build. We're going to build the earlier one in just a minute, but to show you how to do that. But I just wanted to show you how pretty everything looks. I think it is starting to get daylight. So I think it might be a little bit darker than normal because it is raining. But I think we can see it well enough to do our, let's see, what is it called? It's called a hay bundle. I keep calling it bale of hay because I'm from Texas originally, and that's what we called it, bales of hay. But anyway, hay bundle. And so what you're going to need is fiber and plant parts. So let's go ahead and craft one of those. And I want to show you. We were all like so confused because sometimes our animals that we had tamed, let's see, where is it? Let's put it in our hotbar. There we go. Sometimes our animals, what it is it takes the 200 plant parts and creates the hay bundle. Just like if you were to make a hay bundle in real, it uses the hay to make the bundle. So it takes your plant parts and it makes a bundle of hay out of your plant parts. Now what I wanted to show you, and maybe it's too dark, but when I put this down, we did not realize this, but we were all wondering why sometimes our animals had a trough icon over their heads and sometimes they didn't. And we were like, we didn't put a trough down. Well, one of the subscribers said, if you put that, oh, okay, we're having a problem with this area and some of the places. I need to talk to the Ragnarok guys and see if they can fix this. This area over here, you're not able to place things. It looks green, but then it goes away. Let's see if we can place it over here and maybe the icon will pop up. I was just wanting to show you. Nope. It's kind of weird. You can get kind of over here and it'll show up. Nope. I know I had placed things over here. Nope. I have to talk to those Ragnarok guys. Man, they are awesome. Aren't they the best map guys? There we go. Now we can place it. So is that close enough? Let's see. Do they have the... Nope, I don't think so. Let's go ahead and whistle follow. But we don't want to whistle for everybody to follow. All right, you guys, come over here. And let's watch for the... Can we see it? Is it not too dark? Let's see here. Nope, not yet. Where is our hay bale? Okay, there it is. Not yet. I wonder how close they have to be. Well, oh yes, there it is. See, guys? They were correct. That shows up and they can actually eat from that hay bale early on. Here we go. And you guys just stay there for a minute. You'll be fine. So there you go. As an early food, animal trough for them to eat out of, you can use your hay bales of hay bundle. And you don't have to worry about a feeding trough right off the bat. Now I think eventually, the carpenter can make food troughs, or maybe the farmer. I'm not sure. One of those, probably the farmer, can make feeding troughs for you. But for in a pinch, these all work really, really well. So you can see none of my Pegos have names. That's because we learned early on that you lose Pegos about as fast as you tame them. So we were just being heartbroken over and over and over. And so we decided not to. If we stopped naming them, maybe they wouldn't die so fast. And you know what? That is actually working. We went on a big adventure yesterday. And we were looking for 10 and took the Pegos for protection and did really, really well. And then on the way home, that usually the case. On the way home, got into a little bit of trouble, and still nobody died. I couldn't believe it. We actually killed a Carno, if you can believe that. The one thing I am a little bit worried about still is raptors, but I think Survival Plus is working on that also. And they're talking about if the raptors get fed, they will kind of ignore you. And I don't remember if it is actually a game or if that's something they're going to be adding. But I'm happy to hear that, because raptors, I think, since Vanilla Ark did change those up, they scare me, I think, pretty much more, just about as much as any other animal, because sometimes they can just run up and jump on top of you, pin you to the ground, and you're done. So anyway, we had some good adventure yesterday and nobody died. So maybe that's the key to keeping your animals, is don't name them. All right, so what I want to do is I want to show you, it shows down in my toolbar that I have, let's see, what is this one called? It's called a primitive wood hut. You can learn the primitive wood hut pretty early on, and you need bark, clay, and thatch to put down the base. So what you do, now hopefully I can place it here. I really want, okay, let's craft it first. And then let's have it appear in our inventory. Oh goodness, it's slow. That the way that building is, some of the building, they have added more natural, or more, they have added vanilla type structures where you can do your foundations, your walls, your roofs, and all that. But a lot of the buildings are built like this, where you have a base and you set your base down. So let's do that. We'll put it in our number 9 key. And I hope I can place it here. It may not let me. I had something else placed here. Now see, the ground is just a little bit slanting up. So you can see I'm going to lose some of my floor. Let's move over just a little bit to have, I want to be able to walk in the door. So that looks like that might work. I'm hoping that's the door. That looks like the door, doesn't it? But you can see that one corner is going to be high. So you need to make sure and find a super flat place to put these particular houses. It's just one long building. Yeah. At first I was so confused, but this is the way it's supposed to look. This is correct. So what you do in Survival Plus with a lot of the way that you build things is you have your basement or foundation like this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to open the inventory, and this is going to show you what the next layer needs. So what we're going to need is 100 thatch, 20 plant string, and 70 crude planks. So I believe I have all of that. Let's see. How you do your crude planks is using the chopping station. And again, none of these are made by a profession. These are all things that you are able to do early game before people choose their professions. So this is our crude plank, and you can see I've been making a lot, because you need, as you build a building, you need a lot of crude planks. I don't remember how many the longhouse took, but it was a lot. And clay, it took a lot of clay. I don't remember everything. So what you do is you open, it said we needed 70, and we have 200. That's lots. So then the next thing we need is 100 thatch. There we go. I have 100 thatch. And then we need 20 plant string, and I have all that. All right. So then here in the middle, if you have everything correct, and one thing that we found out the hard way is do not use the thatch from the Ragnarok map. If you look at these fronds, these palm fronds, if you pick it up and look over on the side, you'll see that what I'm picking up is thatch. I added 4 wood and 4 thatch. That is not the thatch that you use in Survival Plus. Don't think that that's the right kind of thatch. There are 2 different kinds of thatch. The kind that you pick up off the ground, and you no longer get thatch from trees like in Vanilla Ark. What you have to do is let your plant parts, they deteriorate into consumable thatch. The thatch that you pick up from the ground on Ragnarok is a resource thatch. And if you're building some of the structures in Echo's mod, you will need that kind of thatch because that's a vanilla thatch. But if you're doing survival plus items, you want to use the consumable thatch. So anyway, I wanted to let you know that, because if you put the wrong kind of thatch, if I put this resource thatch in, you won't be able to build your house. So let's stand back here and build the next layer. I don't like to stand in the house. I'm not sure if this is the finished layer or not, but we're going to build the layer. Okay, it's not the finished layer. And see, it really doesn't look any different. I can't remember, and when you build the really intricate buildings later, I can't remember if they change or not. I think I always expected them to, and I'm not sure if they did or not. So now I need 700 thatch. I need 20 plant strings still again, and I need 10 more crude planks, and this time I need 10 clay. As soon as I go get all of that stuff, I'll bring you right back. All right, we have all the ingredients in, and you can see why I keep talking about trying to find easy ways to get plant parts. And early on, by using your stone knife to get plant parts, by getting double, that's going to save you so much time and effort. But you can see we need 700 thatch, and that takes a lot of plant parts to turn that into thatch. So a good way to do that is when you do your hay bales, like I was saying a while ago. Let's see, I'm going to show you. Your hay bale starts out as plant parts, and it's a good way to turn your plant parts into thatch. So that's one way early, really early on, that you can do that. The fastest way to get plant parts is to tame a parasaur or raise a parasaur from one of the eggs that you find in the nest. You can learn saddle Ingram early on without knowing any of the professions. So you can learn the parasaur saddle. You can tame a parasaur by hatching an egg in the fire. You place it down by a campfire and it will hatch. So that, and then you can take your parasaur. This guy's name is Pain in the Rear. He's quite the pain in the rear to get his egg. So you can take your parasaur, ride your parasaur around, and they get lots and lots of plant parts. But it took me a little while. I was definitely without a parasaur for quite a while before I was able to get one of those. All right, let's go ahead and continue. We're going to look at the next level. And see, it does say we can build this level. Let's see what happens. Oh, so that's all the levels we needed. Most buildings are way more intricate than this one. That was a simple, very simple to build, and it's a very simple little building to have for living, so that if there's danger around you, you can be pretty safe in this little building. And that's a good one to start out with. If you do happen to tame a dodo or two and you want to keep them safe, then you guys can live in here for sure for a little while. You can put your campfire in here and then put a work table in here. You can lay your bed down, your thatch bed, or use one of Echo's. One thing that we have learned, if you do get the eyeball icon down in your lower right hand corner, you won't be able to sleep in Echo's beds when it says to sleep. But you'll have to have a thatch bed. As far as we know, that's what we're thinking will work. In your Ingrams, you'll be able to craft the longhouse, and you can see it's a much bigger house, and you feel a little bit more established. Also, you can craft little thatch doors if you want. So I do not have a door. You're able to put doors on them. They're the thatch doors from Vanilla. So that's going to be it for this episode. I sure hope you guys are enjoying them. I know it's real difficult sometimes to find information that helps explain things, so we want to try to do that. We're going to continue, hopefully cover each profession in the future and get some of these people on our server that are more knowledgeable than I am to help kind of figure those things out and share those with you. All right, that's it for today. I appreciate each and every one of you very, very much. Bye.